Hello, you beautiful people of the internet. It's time to start A Court of Wings and Ruin. I can't wait. Okay, let me intro this really quick. If you haven't seen, I'm rereading the first 4 books in the original A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. I say 4 books because I'm including A Court of Frost and Starlight in that. This is a reread, so I have read up to A Court of Frost and Starlight. We're doing all of this so I can read A Court of Silver Flames. I'm doing a vlog on each of them individually, sharing all of my thoughts as I re-experience these stories again. All the other videos are linked down below. This is the 3rd one for A Court of Wings and Ruin. It goes without saying, this vlog will contain spoilers. If you are not interested in spoilers for this book, find another video because this is just gonna be me talking all about this book. I cannot wait to get this one started because I'm interested to see what I think. I liked this one the least when we first went through them. So I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury when I first read them. This one didn't really hit for me, and that was because it was new to me. I wasn't really familiar with new adult fantasy. I read it when I was like 18, 19. It was my first foray into more of an adult fantasy as opposed to a YA one. So this book is a lot more heavy on the fantasy than it is the romance, and that's what I was kind of expecting, was more romance, because the first 2 books had more romance in them and less of the war-based plot. Knowing that this one's gonna have more of a war-based plot, I'm interested to see what my thoughts end up being throughout this. I can't wait for you to join me on this little endeavor, so let's get started. It's time for the first update of A Court of Wings and Ruin. I am about 130-ish pages in. I have braved Feyre being at the spring court, and actually it wasn't as bad this time because I kind of like was able to see further into the book and like know what was coming. I loved Feyre taking down that court from the inside out, and I think last time I was so caught up in like I miss Rhys that I wasn't able to see that, so rereading that was fantastic. I am loving this book so far. Maybe it's because I just got to the chapter where Rhys came back. Oh my god, girl, that page has like 4 tabs. Every time Rhys talked I was like tab, tab, tab. So I'm obsessed. I remember this book going a lot more heavy into like the war strategy and things like that and all the political fantasy stuff. So I'm interested to see where this takes me. I think it's set up really well. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I remember liking this book the least. I think like right now as it sits, I would tell you this book is a 5-star. Is that because Rhys just came back? Possibly, I don't know. But I am loving it. I have been devouring the book. I literally like read 100 pages during the first half of my workday. This is the first opportunity I've had to update you because I'm on my lunch break. So like as soon as I was able to talk to you guys, I like ran out to my car. I was like, let me go update the vlog because I want to keep reading, but I didn't want to keep reading without updating y'all. So now that you have been informed, I'm gonna get back to work so I can get back to reading. Do you have any reading updates for the vlog? I can read. I know a guy who can teach you. Good evening. So, it's time for me to update you, but I don't know what page I'm on, so please hold. I listened to my audiobook on the way home, and I got towards the end of chapter 20. So I'm just gonna find chapter 21, and that's the page I'm gonna tell you I'm on. I'm on page 225. You know, I don't really have more thoughts. There were a couple points that I'm gonna go back in and add tabs for. I like time-stamped them so I can come back and add a couple tabs. I like Nesta more this time around, and maybe it's because I'm like forcing myself to notice her character and notice her dynamic with Cassian more, knowing that that's what A Court of Silver Flames is focused on, is them. So I think I'm noticing them more, and like I like the tension that's building. The first time around I didn't really even see it and I thought she was annoying, but I can see where she's coming from because it does sound like whatever she went through was really traumatic, and so I can understand and sympathize with her a little bit more this time around because I'm focusing more on her character too, in addition to Feyre and Rhys. There's my thoughts on that. Right now I'm at the point Feyre just finished flying lessons with Azriel where she's trying to figure out her wings. I'm a 1/3 of the way through it and still really enjoying it. I think, I don't know, like I was gonna say I think I enjoyed the first 1/3 more, but that was where she was with Tamlin most of the time, so like maybe less. I just really enjoyed the chapters with Rhys, like where it was romance, but now we're kind of getting into the war plot of it. But I'm excited to see, with my new knowledge and experience with fantasy over the past like 4 or 5 years, what this will be like for me. So I'm interested to like take part in the fantasy aspects of it. I will say, when I read Fourth Wing, I was like, I think it's better than A Court of Thorns and Roses. I no longer think that. I needed this reread because it's been so long. I no longer think that Fourth Wing was better, but it was very good. But there's just some things that this book does really well. I think this book has really good pacing and character dynamics. I think in Fourth Wing, we were focused on a few characters. In case you haven't read that, I won't tell you about it, but there was like 2 kind of characters and then a couple side characters and then a couple other characters that we were focused on. If you've read it, you know kind of generally what I'm talking about, but we really centered around 4.5 characters in that book with primary focus on 2. And this does have primary focus on 2 characters, obviously Feyre and Rhys. But I think the inner circle and Feyre's sisters really help round out this cast of characters, and it's not too many to where you get them all muddied. Maybe that's also because I've read this before and I kind of know the characters, but I also think it's just like they're written really well. And they all have very distinct personalities. We're about to have the Court of Nightmares scene because they're talking about going back to the Court of Nightmares. I really liked the Court of Nightmares scene in A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't remember the one in Wings and Ruin, so I'll update y'all later. It's now 10 p.m. I am on chapter 33. I am halfway through this book. I'll show you my tabs here in a second. I just got to the scene where they realized Elaine is a seer after the whole scene with Nesta, Feyre, and the ravens sent by Hybern. There's a hair stuck to my face somewhere. I had completely forgotten about that scene, and I had completely forgotten about this plot line of Elaine. I really think that I just like forgot about this book entirely because I didn't like it at the time, because I thought it was too heavy on like the fantasy war aspect of it. Now that I'm rereading it, I'm noticing that there's subtle bits of romance between Rhys and Feyre, because in A Court of Mist and Fury you saw them like slowly start to like each other, and that's like why I think I was so captivated by that one at first. This one, their relationship's already been established, and so I think I just like wasn't enjoying like the already established relationship aspect of it. What I love about this one is that since they have that relationship already founded, they are able to expand on that and learn their dynamic with one another and learn about one another, communicate with one another more effectively, and also just their little moments of like simple intimacy. Like, I mean, granted, there's some like steamy bits to it, like when he's like watching her as she gets in the bath or something like that. Don't get me wrong, I love those, but like the casual intimacy of the conversation they had when she snapped at him for being kind of mean to Nesta, the conversation they had after that, and it was like, I'm sorry I acted the way I did, and it was like, no, like I want you to call me out on my bullshit basically, and just all of that. Like those little moments of intimacy are surprising me in this book. Theo was scratching his tree. He said, do you mind if I take over the vlog for a minute? Are you showing the vlog how good you scratch your tree? Everybody tell Theo he's doing a good job. I do a good job? Well, you do be so handsome. So anyways, those are some of the subtle moments I'm really enjoying throughout this book, but also just like the plot in general is really good. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited to see how Nesta and Elaine's characters shape out throughout the rest of the book, because I don't remember anything about that. It's very clear that Nesta and Cassian have a little thing going. I don't know why I won't focus on him, but he's trying to eat my Crocs. Time for our next update. I listened to a little bit of the audiobook this morning. I'm at 56%. I just started chapter 41. I wish I was like recording this morning when listening to the audiobook, because we got to the part where it was like they were in the tent and his moans drowned out the sounds of the what is it? The pained and the dying, or something like the injured and the dying, something like that. Also, I just took my sunglasses off. That's why there's those little red spots. So please ignore that. I was like cackling, and I so wish that like I had the ability to record because it was just so good. That's what you missed on Glee. Good morning. It's time for the next update. It's Friday. I'm very excited that it's Friday. I woke up this morning and was like, thank God. So yesterday I had this big goal to finish the book. I don't know if I ever talked about it, but definitely had that goal. And I totally could have, but a lot of things were going wrong with my house yesterday, and when I got back afterwards, I was like, you know what? I really don't feel like reading right now, so I didn't finish it, but I am 75% of the way through. Here's a little tab update for you. I am currently on page 518. So we're getting to the point where we're doing more battle strategy. It's very heavy on like, okay, we're gonna have our front lines here, and then this army's gonna come in from this direction, and this army's coming this direction, and we need our soldiers here, and here's what our soldiers are doing, and blah 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 blah. It's interesting still, for sure. I definitely like it more this time around, because last time I was like, this is the part where I was like, this book sucks, and I'm still enjoying it. And maybe it's because I've come to really love this cast of characters. Also, I don't know how I never put Nesta and Cassia together, because it's very obvious in this book that they're into each other. So I can't wait to get to their book. I'm so excited. The actual goal is to finish this today, so hopefully I'm updating you at some point that I have finished this. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I'm at work today. If I need to, I'll read some of it when I get home tonight, but I'm hoping that I'll have it finished before the end of the workday, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head inside and get started on a not so glorious day in the life. It's time for the final update, which means that I finished A Court of Wings and Ruin. That last little bit that I listened to today, I did all audiobook listening today because I was at work and then I was driving. You can tell I wasn't super inclined to tab anything. At a point I was like, is this a 4.5? I think logically, knowing how I felt about the war scenes, 4.5, 4.75 maybe, but I'm gonna give it a 5 because the parts that I loved, I really loved. But definitely that war scene where everything's going down, I was exhausted. I just wasn't loving those scenes. I was zoning in and out. It just didn't capture my attention the way I wanted it to. Sometimes fantasy war scenes can be like that for me though. It's a 5-star compared to like the 3.5 that I gave it last time. Even then, like if I gave it like a 4.75, still significantly better than last time. I loved this one. I'm excited to reread A Court of Frost and Starlight because I really don't remember much that happens in that one. I feel like I always describe it as like they go Christmas shopping, but apparently it sets up A Court of Silver Flames well. So that'll be in the next vlog. I'm super excited to read that one with y'all. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me as we delved back into this story. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you all in my next video. Happy reading!